Why is that the best one? Because you're actually doing it. I don't care about which one you pay for. What's another time question? What's another time question? So we got how long have you been wanting blank for? Has something recently shifted that's making this more of a priority? What's another great time question? So sorting question at the top, right? Sorting questions we typically use in a trust-based opener. Hey, we met at, God, it's been a while now that we met back at blank to blank. I guess, did you guys purchase a home? Is that more of like a now thing, or is that more of like a Q3 winter thing? It's a Q3 winter thing. Oh, cool. Tell me more about that. Right? Another great time question. Sorting question. Right? Sorting questions are a this or a that. And when you guys use sorting questions, it allows the prospect to be in control of the answer. Think of it this way. Have you guys ever asked a significant other or a friend, hey, what do you want to do tonight? And they go, what do you want to do tonight? And they say, what do you want to do tonight? What do you want to do tonight? What do you want to do tonight? And you go for 5 hours about nothing, and you end up doing nothing because by the time you guys figure out you're exhausted, yes or yes? But how many of you ever walked up to your friend and say, hey, you want to go to see a movie or maybe go out to dinner? And they go, oh my God, I'd love to go to dinner. And you go, what do you feel like tonight? I'm feeling like sushi or steak. And they go, oh, I would love to try this new restaurant out for sushi. It's over here, blank to blank to blank to blank to blank. Let's go there. And it's a 30-second conversation. First is, hey, you want to go do something tonight? Yeah, maybe. What are you thinking? I don't know. What are you thinking? Well, you asked me, so I don't know what I'm thinking. Sorting questions allows the person to sort their thoughts, and it allows you to also input the things you want to do. If I don't want to eat Chinese food, am I going to say, hey, you want to go get Chinese food or steak tonight? Because what if they pick one of the options I don't like? Then what do I do? Secretary literally wants to, well, why do you say Chinese food, dude? I don't know, I was trying to be nice. Well, now I want Chinese food and you don't, so you know what, I'm just going to order in. Well, that sucks. So if I say, hey, do you want steak or sushi? And they go, well, I really don't want either, but I'd love to go get Chinese food. What have they told you what they're looking for? Exactly what they feel like. Okay, so is buying a home more of a now thing, or is it more of like a next year project? And people love projects, project, right? Is moving more of a now thing, or is that more of like a project for next year? Oh, well, if we find a good deal, we'd be open to this. What does that mean? If somebody says if we find a good deal, we'd be more open, what does that mean? Somebody help me. Somebody help me. Somebody help me. Ooh, let's talk about this. Because if we don't understand what they're saying, then we miss out on opportunities. Here's what I heard. You tell me if you guys hear something different. Here's what I hear. We're not in a rush, but if we find a good deal, we're open to it. Cindy's my gal. Cindy's my gal. Oh, another Asian always knows. They're ready to buy, baby. Right? But they just never had anybody ask them better questions. But they're ready to buy. In my opinion, that person's hot to try. Now, they have some hurdles, and they have some fears, and they have some concerns. Yes or yes? What is our job to do? You guys can unmute. This is audience participation. Our job is to further clarify. Yes or yes? Our job is to further clarify. What could be a possibility that is going through their mind? Let's think about this, right? Because I know there's a lot more people who hear, we're not in a rush to buy, but if we find something, we'd be open. Here's what everybody else heard. We're waiting. I know that's what most people do. You know, I know because I've heard thousands of agents call before. Thousands of you agents, all of you all that are in here that are like, I would never say that. Yes, you do. Because when you're under pressure on a call, you're not thinking, you're reacting. This is thinking time. Yes? We think here as a group. We then script or we write out a rebuttal that we did if we did this. We then go use the rebuttal and use the information in real life call, right? It's not practicing on them, it's actually utilizing what you're learning. And we either get the appointment, we get kicked in the teeth, or we fall somewhere in between. Either way, it's a win. Because you're taking action to get better. So when somebody says, I'm not ready to buy, I hear, but if I find a good deal, I'm in. I hear, I'm ready to buy. Yeah. But what I also hear is that they have a concern. And it's my job to do what? Probe and clarify and bring them from uncertainty to certainty. Power versus force. Uncertainty is a low vibration. Certainty is a high vibration. Do people make big purchasing decisions that are wise in low vibrational states? Do people make great decisions to buy when they're in a high vibrational state with clarity? Okay. Our job as salespeople is to bring the clarity. Their job is to make the decision. One of my old mentors told me that. It was like the most eye-opening thing ever. He's like, you bring clarity, they bring the yes or the no. And if it's a no, it's okay. Because what? Because you have clarity, they have clarity, and you build a plan so that there's a next step. I'm like, oh, that's brilliant. Some weird Indian dude named Sharon. I don't know if you guys have heard of him, but it was like, bro, when you talk to people, what you're doing, you gave me a process around what I did. You bring certainty. So when somebody says they're ready to buy, they're not ready, they're not in a rush, but they're open to buy. What are some of the reasons why they would not want to purchase? Why they would say they're not in a rush? Obviously, we're not talking about like we triggered sales resistance. We're talking about like we're having an open conversation. They're totally cool. So what are the things that they are uncertain about in this market, in your market, in your markets? Talk about your hyper-local market. Make this real for you. Okay?
In my market, they're always worried about somebody's falling down from the sky. And I think I need to be the
Okay, write that down. Does anybody else have a market that was really high at one point and that is now no longer kind of that tip of the iceberg? Anybody here from Miami or Florida? Anybody else feel what Rambo just said, where buyers are now concerned that the market is on the downward decline because there's such a surge over the past couple of years? Scottsdale people, right? Dallas people, Phoenix people. Anybody in a market that's losing more people than are coming in currently? California people, right? Certain parts of California are losing people. Las Vegas is gaining people. Hyper-local, what are the reasons why somebody would say they're not in a rush, but if they see something, write down your reasons in the chat, please. Everybody put your reasons in the chat. Because your homework assignment is to come up with 3 rebuttals for 3 things that a buyer could say to you why they don't want to buy in this market. I need you to do the homework and I need you to post it in school. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a I know if I just did, you guys are not going to do it. I have to call you out. It's okay. I wouldn't do it either. I would call it out. 3 rebuttal. And if you are stuck, look in the chat to see what other people's are, because it's a thought doctor. You're not stealing, you're just being remembered of what other things you've heard that you forgot, okay? We do the homework, right? Your 3 buyer rebuttal, 3 on 1. Picture. All right, there you guys go. There's the link. If you're a guest, obviously you can't do it. This is our private portal, but if you're a client, there's the link, all right? There's the home. There's the home. Working on credit, down payment, need to sell, but want to find a home, right? Lower inventory, need to rent or sell current house, right? Price projected to drop after winter. Rates are going down, we are waiting, can't afford a new home. You guys, anybody who says rates are going down, super awesome. I love that. Why? It's the easiest one to act. It's the easiest one to tackle. If rates go down, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I guess I'm curious. If rates drop, what do you feel might happen in the market? With inventory, with pricing. What do you mean? If rates go down, our payment goes down. In an ideal world, yes, you are correct. However, what typically happens when rates go down? Are there more buyers or less buyers? Well, we never thought about it. Well, if you're waiting for rates to drop, do you think there's other people just like you also waiting for rates to drop? Well, I guess that could be possible. Yeah, it's very possible, because I talk to sellers and buyers and people who are looking to move into their overarching goal region every single day. And you know what I hear number one? The number one thing that people just like you say? What? I'm waiting for rates to drop. So if rates come down, do you think some more of those buyers who are waiting are going to come out of the woodwork? Yes or yes? Well, I guess they could. Well, if the rates drop with you, yes. So are there other people in the world just like you? Well, yeah, I guess so. So do you want to be on the front end of the rate drop or the back end of the rate drop when rates come down but prices surge? I never thought of it like that. Hey, check it out. I know I called you out of the blue. Sounds like you have some desire to move, but we're not quite sure when's the right time. Is that aligned with where you're at? Yes. Let's do this. Why don't we sit down to strategize a game plan? What would make best sense for you guys based off of your personal situation? I'd love to do it now, but I actually have to run to another appointment right now. So if you would find it beneficial, we could put some time aside on both of our calendars where we can discuss the right next step for you and your family to get to blank to blank to blank overarching goal. What typically works best for you? Afternoon or early evening? Boom, you're done. Game over. But if we never write down the rebuttals, how do we go from pain to transition to game plan? Thanks. Because we can't think and do at the same time. Write that down. You can't think and do at the same time. I'll give you an example. Who here's tried to create content before? All of your hands should go up for the love of, oh my gosh, for the love of Realtors 101. Everybody put your hands up. Oh my God. It's going to give me a heart attack today. How many of you have tried to create content without scripting it or planning it? And you bumble on the camera. And you go, oh, that's shitty. Of course it is. Because your brain doesn't function with thinking and doing at the same time. Our brains just aren't built like that. So you need thinking time, creating time, and you need doing time. And then when you do that, all of a sudden, who was it? It was Michelle, I think, that was like, oh my God, I was in Costa Rica, my friend's like, you need to do all this stuff. She's like, so I spent an hour and I scripted out like 10 different videos. I ended up doing 20. Why? Because this mosquito's trying to bite my face off. Why did she do 20? Because she had the ideas, she wrote them down, and then when she went to do the ideas, what happened? Whoosh! And she got into a flow state. How many of you guys love being in a flow state? Oh my God, is it not the most sexy thing ever? Matt, when you're on the pickleball court, 3 hours pass by, you don't even like it's 9 o'clock already. Flow state, because you don't have to think. You are so prepared. You're doing it. How many of you guys saw the video that Kim and Sal did in Florida about Triz? You think they just winged it like that, y'all? You could tell it was scripted. Like, they might not have written down every single word, but they talked about it. Hey, let's do this. We should do that. Let's try. And I'm going to walk in. You're going to do this. Blah, blah, blah. We only get into a flow state when we spend the time like right now. Yes or yes? Time, impact. Time, impact. Here's some impact questions. Mr. and Mrs. Fire. Right now, I'm not going to say Mr. and Mrs. I'm going to say their first name, or I'm not going to say their name at all, depending on how many times I use their name. By not having blank, is that having any impact on you? Very straight. By not having blank, is that having any impact on you? I think it's 11 words, or 16. It's like 11 or 16 words. I see you all lip sync in the bathroom to your favorite song. I see you. I know you guys can remember that. I know you can remember the formula. I know you can remember the formula. By not having blank, is that having an impact on you? Now, here you guys go. I'm going to give you a freebie because I really like this one. I wrote this one last night for you guys. No, this morning. 4 o'clock? I don't remember. It was either last night late or early this morning, like 4 o'clock in the morning. I don't know. Whatever. Can't remember. Oh, should I share it with you? You guys aren't excited. Allie, they're not excited. They don't want it. They don't want it, Allie.
Bring it, man.
I guess I have to go. I have to go take care of my brisket. I'm sorry, I can't see you guys. The brisket's over there. You guys see the barbecue in the background, and I'm gonna go smoke a cigar. Okay, here you go. Write this down. A lot of us get the financial objection, right? Let's think about the financial objection. How long have you been looking for a home? Right? You can ask the question. I don't mind it. How long have you guys been thinking about this for? Well, off and on for a couple of years. Anybody heard that one before? On and off for a couple of years? You guys want to just cut that? You want to cut that objection out? You want to cut it? cut that shit out. Nobody likes my. All right. Better. By not buying that home that you wanted, the XYZ overarching goal, you see why the overarching goal is so important, everybody? You all see why we have to have the overarching goal every time? Because we can't bring the pain when we ask the impact question if we don't have the overarching goal. So by not buying that home a couple of years ago, not having blank, right? And feeling like you might have missed out on the market. By feeling like you might have missed out on the market. That's your question. Yeah. We'll make more video content about it. Has that had any impact on your family? Assuming they have a family, because you've already figured out they have a family that's sharing that group, where there's something there that would make sense. If you just ask that question without knowing the other stuff, you could sound dumb. Don't do stuff that's going to make you sound dumb. That would be dumb. Because now we talked about it. Don't do it, it's fine. One time, it's okay. 2 times, acceptable. 3 times, come on, y'all, what are we doing with our lives? But you're going to sound dumb a little bit. Like, it's okay. Because I sound dumb all the time on calls. Trust me, I have no problem sounding dumb. The person who's willing to sound dumb enough, long enough wins. Just so you know. I'd write that down, but I'm supposed to. The person that's willing to sound dumb enough, long enough, is the one who wins. Because eventually, they sound really freaking smart. Why? Because you go back and you review your tape, you get better. But if you only try to go for perfectionism, you never give yourself the opportunity of being a beginner. And that sucks. Because we're all beginners at something. The question you guys ask and the impact. And then they go, well, yeah, it has. And here's what they're going to say. 80-ish% of the time. They're going to say it has, but. And what do you think follows but? I'm going to cut my thumb off with this thing. This is dangerous. This is a safer business. Right? So should you be prepared for that? But it's okay. We can manage, right? It's not that bad. But if it's not that bad, it's also what? It's the opposite of not bad. It's also not that good. So now you can hit him with the 2 truth question. 2 truth question I got from Jeremy Miner. I paid him $40,000. So you guys know I invest in myself too, right here. The 2 truth question is, sounds like everything's going well over there. Is there anything you would change about your situation if you could? Sounds like everything's going decent over there. Is there anything you would change around your situation if you could, though? Yeah, I would have liked to have X, Y, and Z, blah, blah, blah. And what do we do now? You and Z, probably clarify. Tell me more about that. How come? Why would you want that? You can even ask a secondary impact question. How has that been impacting you guys? How has that been affecting you guys? How does that show up on a daily basis in your family? How do your kids feel? How does your wife, husband feel? What's the impact that you're not closer to your folks that are aging? What is it like not being able to see your grandkids as much? Does that have any impact on how often you get to see X, Y, and Z? Does it hurt going up the stairs? Yes. How long has it been hurting for? If nothing changes, Is there going to be any ramifications on your needs, on your quality of life, on your ex? Y'all see how easy this becomes when you practice a few times? Like, probably like 20 minutes a day. You just literally wrote this out and said it out loud to yourself. Brandon, 100%, bro. You just stand in front of your mirror and look like a weirdo. Like, tell your girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, you're taking a poop. I know, it is what it is. Lock the door, turn on the exhaust fan. Nobody will hear you outside, and just practice out loud. You can either practice in front of people, which is fine, or you can practice in silence, which is also fine. But you have to get comfortable using these frameworks quickly. Sharon, we're afraid of paying too much capital gains. How long have you owned the home for? Okay. Well, at some point, you either die in the home or you sell the home, correct? What do you want to do? Are you okay being in the home for 10 more years? Well, not really. How comes? If you were to sell the home and take the money in, what would you do with it? Is that better than the capital gains? Because capital gains are going to be there one way or the other. The difference is we know how much they are today. We don't know how much they're going to be in 3 years. What would you rather do? Gamble in 3 years or just bite the bullet today and get what you guys actually want? Because capital gains are what? Capital gains. They're just not going to go anywhere. You guys also, does everybody see that we can be very direct with people? Who here likes, who here fluffs hard questions too much? Just be direct. Especially when you get into the higher price points, right? If your higher price point is like 800,000 in your market, the people that are at 800 grand are probably busier than the people that are at 200,000. Right? They probably are the entrepreneurs of the city, the doctors, the lawyers, right? Higher paying job. They are busy. Not saying that the other people are not, but they are busy and they value their time typically a little bit more than people that are making less money. And so the quicker you can get to the point, what happens? The more they respect you. You want to work with rich people in your neighborhoods? Get to the point. Why? Because they typically have the personality that's a little bit more type A, a little bit more direct. They're typically bosses. They're typically managers, owners, right? They typically have a team reporting to them. They're used to being direct and they don't mind directness back. Now, if you're talking to like a 75-year-old grandma and grandpa, you could tell that their cognitive abilities have kind of declined. You probably are going to be a little bit slower with your directness. You might need to re-explain the question a couple of times. Why? Not because they're stupid, they're just not firing on all the cylinders. You know, you just have to massage it a little bit more. So you slow down. You're talking to a hotshot that's 9 houses into his career. She's 9 houses into her life, right? They've as a couple bought 4, they have 3 different investment properties. You probably don't need to treat them like a first-time buyer. I watched this YouTube channel where these guys are in New Jersey selling cars. I flipping love it. It had bids on it. Like whenever I'm cooking, I put these guys on. His name is George. I don't know what the dealership name is, but it's awesome. He talked about selling cars. This dude's just like so genuine. This guy walks in by $145,000, Mercedes. Two-door. He's got 150-pound like Bernese Mountain dog. Does he need a two? And he takes his dog everywhere. Does he need a two-seater sports car, or does he need a pickup truck? Or the Nissan Armada that he came in on? Big old SUV. What do you need? What does he need? Big car. Big dog, big car. Yeah. Who wants to put like a slobbering, gorgeous, beautiful dog up against a dash that's suede leather? Nobody does. Dog lovers do though. They don't care about the car. They're like, no, I love my puppies. I do it all the time. But he said on the thing, I don't need this car. Nobody needs this kind of a car. Nobody needs this kind of car with my lifestyle, with my dogs. Because I take my dogs everywhere. They're like, well, you could just take one. He's like, no, they're a pack. They go together. They came together. We go everywhere together. But I want this car. I really wish George would have said, tell me why you want the car. Like, what feeling would you have if you had the car? He's already got a garage and like a full car. His wife gave him a budget. Not because he couldn't afford more, it's just, honey, you don't need the car. But he wanted it. What was the want of the car? Karen, what is the want of the people that have, you know, you might be selling, what is it, a $6 million house that you have that they're paying capital gains on?
Yeah, probably around 5 million, yeah.
$5-6 million bucks, and they want to buy like an $8-9 million house, right?
No, they want to downsize it actually.
They want to downsize.
So, they have 4 kids and they're all in college and they want to downsize. So I came up to everything, what is the current situation, but the moment I came to a game plan, that the only game plans I had family access, that is where I stumbled.
What's his ethnicity?
I'm sorry?
What's his ethnicity?
He's a Caucasian migration.
Okay. How long has he been in the house for?
27 years.
What's the capital gains? $5 million bucks?
Maybe.
Roughly. I mean, you've been in the house for 27 years and you're guys neck of the woods. You bought it in 1998 for probably $600,000.
Yes.
10x. 10x. So it's so the capital gains are going to be up $5.5 million. So what's the capital gains on $5.5 million bucks? Y'all just say, you know, I've never sold real estate in their neighborhood. But you could just, when you start to study local or hyper local, right, you kind of know the trends of certain markets that are big. You know the trends of your market. So 1 million, so I'll double, oh no, it's 1/3. So 5.5 divided, 5.5 times 5 million times 5.33. So 3, 6, 9, 12. So it's $1.5 million bucks to $1.7 million. Okay. So do you want to pay the capital gains or do you want to pass it on to your children?
They wanted to sell it. There was a question mark. Yeah, we do want to sell it.
Yep.
But they're also looking at the individual exchange, so I gave them a contract and gave them a contract also, and I told them how it works. They said, yes, we have rented out certain parts of our house so that we can benefit from that. But that they wanted to have a conversation with how much can we see.
So when you get to the wealthy, they're more concerned about wealth preservation than anything else. Maintaining their wealth preservation.
Yes.
So if you want to deal with people with money, you have to somewhat educate yourself on how to help them keep their money. Yes or yes, everybody?
Yes. Yeah.
Which means you need to have on your team, right? You don't need to know everything, but your team needs to have a specialist that is an expert in what?
Real estate platform.
Real estate planning, tax advice, right? You need, so one of my friends just started selling a high ticket offer where they're selling essentially CPA all-in-one bundle package for people making 7 figures a year. I go, how's it going? He's like, it's all right. Anytime you say all right, you mean what? It's not going well. What's wrong? He's like, well, man, these people got like real money problems. They're rich. Yeah, they're making $1 million a year. So their level of problem is very different than somebody who's making 200,000. When you're in a $6 million house and you're making 800, 900, $1 million a year, there's also other factors that come in. So what are the other factors that can come in why they would want to preserve the wealth that we need to figure out? Is their income the same?
Yeah.
Right? So if we give up $1.5 million, is our income the same? So we might end up buying a $3 million house that's 10x worse than the $5.5 million house we have right now, and we have nothing in the bank to show for it. So we have a smaller house, it's also paid off, but do we have anything to show for it in the bank? No. So why would we sell the house? If we can't help them solve these complex problems, we will never get to the higher price points. Because higher price points come with a new layer of problem. It's not just putting a home on the market. It's all of the accessories that come alongside of it. And one of the accessories of hiring people is wealth preservation. How do we help them think through those problems? Logically and emotionally. Because remember, surface level pain is always logic. Right? Believe it or not, you guys, $1.5 million, $1.6 million for capital gains is a surface level problem. How many heads just blew off their freaking neck right now when I said that $1.5 million is a surface level problem? How many of you guys can even picture $1.5 million being a surface level problem? It's a big problem, right? You got to probe and clarify to see why the money is an issue. Because you think that they rented the home in preparation for what? Doing a 1031 exchange. They're not dumb people. They've already figured out that we have a problem coming up in a couple of years. Like, let's start doing some stuff to get in front of it. The realtor they choose, they're only going to pick if that person has education and knowledge on the problem that they're facing. They're not going to pick an agent that's unaware of how to do a 1031. It's very complex. You have timelines that have to get met. You see, people are always like, oh, well, they sell big houses, they're lucky. Shut up. That shit's fucking stupid to say.
No, I think you asked a question, but
No, I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about others that say, oh, well, you sell big houses. And so if I sold big, why don't you? Complex problems show up. The more expensive, the more complex. But it always comes back to remembering that they have an overarching goal, and that when you get into that overarching goal, their life changes, and so does yours, because that's a $10 million plan. So they're going to sell 5, 6, and they're going to buy 3, 4, or 2.5, 3. And then their kids are going to be your clients, if the kids are in the area. And you keep the relationship up. The kids will naturally come to you because you will be a part. The kids will be a part of this conversation. Because you say, oh, well, why don't we meet the kids one day? Because that would be the smart thing to do. Meet the kids and host a barbecue at the house one last time. Cater a badass event so that everybody gets to meet you. Why? Because this is their family home. 30 years. So you do one last hula that you show up to for 45 minutes pay for everything, you still 45 minutes of the meeting. Why? Because it's not about you. Who's it about? Them. Now you have clients for life. But guess what happens if you don't do follow-up? Guess what happens? That deal goes down the drain because there is a lot of follow-up necessary for these people, yes or yes. This could take upwards of a year to transact.
Yeah.
It could take also less than 30 days.
It's a long time.
They've been in the house 27 years. There's a lot of emotional detachment that needs to happen, as well as physical detachment, as well as where do we put all the stuff that we thought was so important detachment. Oh no, you go to everything. You show up for everything, y'all. You don't show up because you want to go for yourself. You go there because they invited you. And you have a drink, or you have a little bit of food, you have like water, and then you dip out. And you say, oh, I have work to do. I wish I could stay longer. You know how this business is. Oh, Vic, thank you for coming. We appreciate you so much. No, I appreciate you guys. Shake hands, get phone numbers, use food, get out of Dodge. Because people don't invite you out of. People don't invite people they don't like. They invite people they like to their events. Who just mowed and groaned? Who is that?
Okay, one question, like, I asked a lot of questions, I got a lot of information from them, but, in the end, I couldn't get his phone number because I think the end with the capital game thing, I hadn't got to it with them. But I had enough information, and then I had the email, in a full name. And I eventually found out where they live, what is their address, who the bank account.
Question.
The question is, now that I have a phone number from other places and I have their address, is it like stalking if I call them? You can give me something that I have.
Has he responded to any emails you sent him?
Not yet. What if I go and not to do it something?
It's kind of like when you message a girl on Bumble. She doesn't respond 36 times. You stalk her on Instagram? Then
Yeah.
she might be really into you, or she might not be into you. If she's into you, and she's like, hey, I appreciate the effort you put, guess what? You scored a winner. If she's not into you, she's going to block you on Instagram, and guess what? You got it done. So I would give it two more tries, right? Again, it's a long-term thing, so I'd give it another email or two, right? I just do kind of like a 9-word email. If I get you more than 9 words, you guys should probably not write this down. Hey, if there was a way that I could connect you with a specialist on the 1031, would you be open to that introduction?
Yeah, that was already clear. I already sent that email. That you wanted that.
But did you send him the name? So you didn't give him a reason to talk to you. You didn't say thank you.
Not yet.
When did you send it? I gotta go, guys.
Day before yesterday.
So I wait until Friday. I wait until day before yesterday. What day is it? You sent it on Sunday?
Sunday.
Okay, so I'll wait till Wednesday or Thursday. Oh, but you just met the guy on Sunday.
Yeah.
Yes, yep, so I'd wait till tomorrow. I'm not gonna give him a call right out of the gate because that could be weird. I'm gonna send him another email. At this time the email was wanted to make sure I wasn't spam, and you actually got the contact information.
Okay.
Did you just reply with a yes that you got it? Once you have a yes, now you're in flow. But you never send something without getting them to respond for it all. We always need them to respond to us before we just send them stuff. Otherwise, we're giving, right? But we're not, hey, just wanted to make sure I had the right email address before I sent out a bunch of information. I wanted to make an introduction to Bob. Bob, meet Tom. Right now, Bob and Tom are on the same line. Bob, why don't you just take it from here? Bob now says thank you. Tim has to say thank you too. Why? Because it's reciprocation. We always have to force, in our brain, we have to think, I know we do with this. Everything we do, we have to force a response or we have to force a next step. If you're a guest here today and you enjoyed this session, I take Venmo and PayPal. But if you're a guest, if you want to learn what we do inside the academy and why all of these crazy people show up and hang out with Cody and I and our tribe, just send me a message on Instagram, and our team will reach out to you next steps. Otherwise, everybody do your homework, put it in the portal for me, please, because learning without implementation is just feeling good about that. So let's go crush it, y'all. I'll see you soon. Cheers.
Bye.
Huh?
Where